Right now at noon, Del Monte is selling its corn packing plant in Cambria, plus closing 2 other Midwest locations. And a favorite Madison custard spot is closing after 30 years after the owner's spouse was denied a U.S. visa.
From the Channel3000.com Alert Center, this is News 3 Now at noon.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Mark Kane. Thanks for tuning in to News 3 Now on this Wednesday afternoon. We'll get to those stories in just a bit. But first, let's head over to the Weather Center. Meteorologist Dave Caulfield. No, Chris Reese has a look at your first alert forecast. I didn't see it.
It's all good. It's okay.
Look behind the camera there to see you.
It is I, Chris Reese, and we are watching some cloud cover that is trying to stream back into the picture. We had some sunshine earlier on, but there's a little bit of a disturbance happening just to our south. So here's visible cloud track. Watch out from the southwestern sky. We start to see a little bit of thick cloud cover moving into the picture. And rainfall associated with that will stay south of Wisconsin, but nonetheless, there's a little bit more gray out there. Here's the upper Midwest as a whole. You see those showers are well to our south, but it's the cloud cover with it that we are watching. In the meantime, though, northerly wind will take over. That should allow for some drier air, so we'll see some peaks of sunshine more so this afternoon. Those winds are coming out of the north and northwest at 12 miles per hour, by the way. The temperature 77, the dew point 65, so there's a bit of moisture in the atmosphere. That'll leave as we head into tomorrow, but check out the temperatures further towards the south. Janesville at 81, Milwaukee and Kenosha at 82. Then you work your way up towards Black River Falls, the Dells. It's 74 right now. As we go through the rest of the afternoon, we may warm up just a little bit simply because it's the daytime and the sun is getting higher in the sky. Look for those temperatures topping out into the upper 70s and low 80s today, but we'll drop as we head into the overnight hours. We're talking mid-50s for overnight lows. Mark, we are going into a stretch of some pretty exciting quiet weather, if you will. But I do believe that we may see more than one, and what's coming up this week could just be a little appetizer. So stay tuned for Maine weather.
One more day of humidity.
Yes.
All right, we'll see you in a few minutes. Thank you. New at noon, Del Monte Foods is selling its corn packing plant in Cambria. The parent company Del Monte Pacific Limited announced today that it's also closing plants in north central Illinois and south central Minnesota, putting more than 900 employees out of work. The closures are part of a restructuring process that the CEO is calling, quote, a necessary step for us to remain competitive in a rapidly changing marketplace. We'll have more on what the sale of the Cambria plant means for the current employees coming up on later newscasts on News 3 Now. And happening now, Fitchburg police are warning people to keep their belongings in a safe place and locked up after a string of burglaries early this morning. Police responded to several reports of burglaries in a neighborhood near McKee Farms Park. Multiple home surveillance systems captured at least one man walking through backyards and approaching front doors. Police say it seems like the suspect was searching for unlocked doors and windows. The department is asking people to check home surveillance systems for unusual or suspicious activity around 2:30 this morning. The controversial sculpture outside Camp Randall Stadium is officially gone. The 50-foot Nail's Tail sculpture was taken down this morning. It resembles a pile of footballs, and since its unveiling in 2005, reaction to it has been mixed. Plans to renovate the plaza outside the UW Fieldhouse were released in March and did not include the sculpture. Work to deconstruct the foundation will continue through August, and it should be gone in time for the Badgers' first home game against Central Michigan on September 7th. The university is still working with artist Donald Lipsky to find a new home for the sculpture. At the state capitol today, the Senate's Health Committee plans to vote on an appointment of Governor Tony Evers' pick to head the State Department of Health Services. Evers appointed Andrea Palm to serve as secretary of the agency that oversees the Badger Cares Plus Medicaid program, senior care, and a number of other public benefit programs. If her nomination is approved, it heads to the full Senate in October, where Republicans hold a 19-14 majority. Palm and all of Evers' other cabinet secretaries have been working all year pending confirmation votes in the Senate. If rejected, they would lose their jobs.
By eliminating the incentive to make the journey to the United States as a family, the new rule will reduce the unprecedented volume of family units that has strained the already limited resources of our department components and put children throughout the region at risk.
The Trump administration is rolling out a new plan to discourage migrant families from coming to the U.S. The new guidelines would effectively end the Flores Agreement, which requires the government to release detained migrant families into the U.S. within 20 days. Under the new plan, migrant families would stay together but would be held indefinitely while judges consider their asylum request. The Trump administration calls the Flores Agreement outdated and says the changes are necessary because the current system is fueling a surge of migrants to the border. And President Trump continues to insist the economy is strong, even as he acknowledges he's looking at tax cuts to give it a boost. On Twitter this morning, he blamed the media for doing everything possible to create a U.S. recession, even though the numbers and facts are working totally in the opposite direction. The Trump administration has several levers to pull to stimulate economic growth, including a payroll tax cut that would benefit most workers or a cut to capital gains taxes, which would mainly help wealthy investors. A new study shows vaping can impact blood vessel function after just one use. Researchers used MRI scans to measure blood flow and discovered blood flow in the major artery that supplies blood to the legs changes very quickly after vaping. Blood flow did reverse back to normal within a few minutes. Scientists don't know what led to the response because the liquid used in e-cigarettes contains no nicotine. Most vaping devices contain heavy metals and chemicals that are thought to affect the heart, lungs, and brain. More local news now. The owner of the Michael's Frozen Custards chain is closing the Monroe Street location after his spouse was denied a U.S. visa. The shop has been a Madison favorite since 1986 and has been featured on the Food Network and written up in the New York Times. According to an attorney's statement, owner Michael Dix's spouse, Sergio de la O Hernandez, is an undocumented Madison resident and was denied the visa that would have allowed him to gain legal status. Hernandez helped run daily operations, and Michael's has suffered significant revenue losses due to his absence. The Monroe Street location will close on September 9th, and there is a chance the business may have to shut down entirely, including its Monona Drive and Schrader Road locations. Well, after 2 years on East Wilson Street, the Nomad World Pub is moving to a new location. The Nomad took the place of the Cardinal Bar. It's known for Latin Heat Saturdays and hosting soccer watch parties. According to a Facebook post, Nomad is moving to West Gorham Street in September, the former Brickhouse Barbecue restaurant building. Firefighters in Trempealeau County responded to a pretty unusual rescue, a cow taking a little dip in a pool. It happened in Ettrick, a village with a population around 500 people. They were able to get the cow out of the pool and back home safely. Well, there's more to come on News 3 Now at noon. Up next, we'll see what Howard's working on in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen.
If you love potatoes, I mean really love potatoes, then you need to stop whatever you're doing and check out what we're making today. If you love potatoes, I mean really love potatoes, then you need to stop whatever you're doing and check out our loaded hash browns. They're easy to make, packed with flavor, and they're a far cry from your everyday side dish. All we do is combine a bag of shredded hash browns with some scallions, salt, and pepper. About half of this goes into a large skillet that we've preheated and drizzled with vegetable oil. We press this down with a spatula. This way, it'll cook evenly. A bit of shredded cheddar cheese goes over that, along with some crumbled bacon, and then the rest of our potatoes. After the bottom gets crispy, place a plate on top of that and carefully flip it over before sliding it back into the skillet. When both sides are golden, we top it with more cheese and bacon, cut it into wedges, and we're good to go. It's everything we love about hash browns with the added goodness of a loaded baked potato. The recipe for our loaded layered hash browns is online now, so you can make it for your potato lovers. I'm Howard in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen, where today we found a crispy, cheesy, bacony way for you to say, ooh, it's so good.
Thank you, Howard. Sunny and highs in the 80s today, and that beautiful weather will continue through the weekend. Chris Reese will have your first alert forecast next. And our call for action phone bank is open right now, ready to take on your consumer issues. You can call our hotline. Volunteers will help you with any consumer complaints. The number is 608-270-2833. The service is open every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday between 11 and 1. Target sales are on the rise, and Facebook is adding a new tool that allows users to block the site from tracking them when they're not on it. Diane King Hall has your Money Watch report.
Target hit the bullseye with its latest quarterly report. The nation's second biggest retailer says profit jumped 17% to $938 million. Sales topped $18.4 billion thanks to people putting more items in their cart than they needed. Facebook says it is launching a tool allowing users to block the site from tracking them when they're not on it. The company says it is adding a section dubbed Off Facebook Activity. The tool will allow users to see tracked activity and give an option to disconnect the data from their account. The troubles continue to mount for MoviePass. According to TechCrunch, thousands of credit card numbers for MoviePass subscribers and other sensitive information was exposed on the web. A cybersecurity expert in Dubai reportedly discovered the unencrypted database of 161 million pieces of information, including personal credit card details, names, and addresses. Remember the movie Snakes on a Plane? Well, one traveler apparently lost their snake at Newark Airport. A young girl spotted a 15-inch snake near a security checkpoint and alerted a TSA official. The TSA says it was harmless, and it's common for travelers to leave things behind like keys, sunglasses, and hats, but the snake marks a first. And that's your CBS Money Watch report. For more, head to cbsmoneywatch.com. At the New York Stock Exchange, I'm Diane King Hall.
Thank you, Diane. The Dow Industrials at the noon hour up 283 points. The NASDAQ up 80, and the S&P 500 is up almost 26 points. Q106 Farm Director Pam Yankee out of the radio barn today, so here are your farm numbers. Time now for the weather. Chris Reese has a pretty good looking forecast for us.
That's right. We have temperatures that are into the 70s headed into this afternoon. We may even see some highs into the low 80s. In fact, Janesville already at 81 degrees right now, 82 as you work your way towards Milwaukee, Kenosha at 81. But notice that strong northwesterly wind and temperatures into the mid 70s as you look just back towards the north and west. That's what we're going to watch as we go through the day. Unfortunately, things are just a bit cloudy. 77 right now in Madison. Those winds coming out of the north and northwest at 12 miles per hour. Dew points are still in the mid 60s though, so it's just a little humid, but that does not last all that long. What happened to the sunshine? It was a beautiful day earlier. Now the clouds are starting to stream back in. This is all a part of a little system that's passing to our south and again passing to our south. I don't think it will impact us much more than the cloud cover that we see out there. Notice some of the clouds moving in from the north and west. That's a cold front. Meanwhile, you have the thicker cloud cover back towards the south. That is where we're tracking some showers and thunderstorms through Iowa. They're also dying. That whole system is starting to fall apart. But what we are going to focus in is high pressure that's moving in out of Canada. That is going to set us up for some pleasant weather as we go through the rest of the week and into the weekend. Eventually, this cold front pushes even further towards the south, taking all these high dew points with it as well. It's the lower dew points, the drier air of the north. It's going to be moving in as we go through the next couple of days. Watch how that boundary of rain moves south, clearing skies take in for us, and that is why I do believe we're going to be seeing a lot of sunshine as we go through the rest of this week and into the weekend as well. Let's time it out for you going through today. Look for those highs in the upper 70s and low 80s. Here we are as temperatures begin to fall. Clear skies tonight. with lows into the 50s. We're going to see the same thing into your Thursday. Now, I will say, Future Track tries to throw a little bit of cloud cover in here. I think that's overdone, but we'll see those highs into the mid-70s tomorrow, cooling down towards 55 tomorrow night as we then head into Friday. But folks, this weather is brought to us by a little dip in the jet stream that's going to bring some pleasant weather. Now, a lot of that's going to settle in over the eastern Great Lakes, but there is more where that came from. Check this out. We'll see a little bit of a rebound in temperature by the time we get you towards the weekend and into Monday. That'll likely bring a rain chance, and then watch what happens after that. We get you towards, say, this time next week, and we could see a pretty solid dip of cooler air coming in out of Canada. That air is going to be drier as well. We're not talking cold. We're looking at temperatures that could be in the 60s and 70s. But yeah, drier air. This typically dries us out and sets us up with plenty of sunshine. So of course, we're going to be focusing on that. But as we go through the rest of this afternoon, look for those highs topping out into the upper 70s. We're going to stay partly sunny, especially once we get some of that cloud cover to move on out. By tonight, mostly clear skies. Will be cooler as well with a low near 56 degrees. But then it is a pretty solid forecast as we go through the next 10 days, Mark. Sunshine all the way through Sunday. We'll have a rain chance Monday and Tuesday. That's when it's going to be warmer as well. But then the next cold front comes through. So by next Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, most of the day will be dry. Thursday night into Friday, we could see a little reinforcing shot of cooler air, but that's that high pressure out of Canada. So we'll have some slight overnight chances to rain. And then I do say, but by next weekend, it looks good as well. So
It's Labor Day weekend, right?
Yeah, it really is. So we could genuinely see more than one stretch of just absolutely beautiful weather coming up.
It's almost September.
It almost is. We're going to be watching that going into fall.
Hard to believe.
Yeah.
All right, Chris, thank you. Next at noon, students will have a new way to get through the lunch line at school in the Milwaukee area while they're switching over to fingerprinting technology. We'll have that story when we come back. A Milwaukee area school district is using fingerprint technology in lunch lines. Brittany Lewis stopped by St. Francis High School to get a look at the tech.
The superintendent believes this technology will speed up the lunch line process, giving students more time to eat their lunch.
So here we have our fingerprint ID scanner.
Here's what the fingerprint ID system looks like. The devices will be placed at a cash register. A student will place their finger on the device, and if it's approved, there will be a green light. If it doesn't go through and they need to try again, the red light will flash. Previously, the district used a code system for students to pay for lunch. The superintendent says the fingerprint ID system will be more efficient and will help with security. This way, a student can't use another student's code to buy their lunch.
There's occasionally an attempt to maybe try to get that account number from another student so that they could use it for some other item. And this definitely resolves that issue.
The devices were $1,100 a piece, and there will be 4 of them throughout the district.
We know that having time to sit down and not only eat their food, but have an opportunity to converse with their friends and just use that as maybe a little bit of a downtime between a rigorous set of courses or just what happens during the day is really important.
The system does not store the student's fingerprint, but parents with security concerns can opt out of the fingerprint system and continue to use the code system.
So far, the superintendent says they've received positive feedback from parents.
Interesting concept. Chris, can I borrow some lunch money from you?
Yeah, let me go ahead and reach in and grab my lunch number for you in just a bit. Hey, we're going to see some more sunshine as we go through the afternoon. I know there's a little bit of cloud cover filtering in from the south right now. That'll continue to pass to the south. Further north you are, certainly the more sunshine you are seeing. We all see it Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and even Sunday. Look at this stretch of temperatures into the 70s. Monday and Tuesday next week, we'll see a little bit of a warm up with a little chance to rain. And then once we get you towards the end of next week, I think another cold front comes through, and beyond this forecast really does look great. But even the immediate 10-day forecast looks fantastic. Temperature slightly below average, and it looks like we will see a quiet into August and turn into September.
Where did it go?
Yeah.
That's our time for now. Thanks for watching. We'll see you back here at 4. In the meantime, have a great afternoon.